Oh, all right. Uh, that's the first gate. I'll do middle. All right, let's do it. Oh, you can't gain any back. Yep, there we go. That's a pretty good cover. January 11th, 2025, 4:16 p.m. Despite the new year having already come to pass, winter festivities are still in full swing. Snow festivals dot the northern cities of Japan. You can even find some sparse snow further down south. Giant Christmas tree displays littered with colorful lights still decorate the streets of the many districts of Tokyo, such as the case in Ikebukuro on this snowy evening. It's undeniably very pretty. However, the downside of this is it's so goddamn cold. Holy shit. It's 4:16 p.m. on the border between afternoon and evening. Despite this, it's already dark out, thanks to the aforementioned time of year. Despite this, the Ikebukuro streets are always undeniably extremely pretty. I'm always grateful to be able to walk down the main drives here after night sets in and the beautiful neon lights take over the sun's job. Currently, I was walking down a smaller street that branched off of one of the main drives through the neighborhood. This particular street happens to house a few good merchandise stores for anime and other pop culture. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know Neutron Hexamy had Hexama had story to it. Ooh, I didn't know the Rehearse Side pop-up store was that soon. Circle back on the 15th. Despite this, I was actually targeting a much quieter environment. A nice small library tucked into the side streets amidst the chaos of the busy culture stores. Oop, there we are. The library was on the second floor of a large multi-tenant building. It was the only business of its kind, with the floors being home to more stores and a cafe that I frequented whenever I came here. I opened the door to the stairwell and walked up one flight. Immediately after stepping into the library, I unzipped my coat and hung it on the rack. I walked up to the reception desk, as was routine. Sure enough, an all-too-familiar girl was sitting in the chair, tapping in front of the desk computer. How can I help you? Come to read a book? Turn one? I've come to confess my sins! I have 30 overdue book fines to pay, and my guilty conscience has dragged me back. Can't interest you in our library's membership system? For 1,000 yen a month, you'll get free rentals, as well as unlimited access to the library computers, and more. This was a routine we'd established by this point. Both of us laughed. Hey, sweetie, I'm just about done. If you don't mind waiting, I'll clock out in 5 minutes or so. Yeah, for sure. I'll go sit by the computers. Okay, I'll come get you. I walked over to the leather chairs next to the computer area and sat down. Comfy. It had been 9 months since the shutdown of the Dustbreaker. Take into account readjusting to normal life, as well as all the legal disasters we had to wade through. It had only been about half a year since we'd been able to return to life. 6 months ago, the most stressful thing in my life was trying to settle legal cases regarding two girls who shouldn't logically exist in the world. Now, the most stressful thing in my life is deciding whether I want pho or ramen for dinner. So it seems that they actually, were able to get Eri and Kotomi to live normal lives. That's good. Despite that, everyone's adjusted to the way things are rather well. I suppose the human body is more trained to acclimate to reality than a simulated world. Living in the city, despite how densely packed the streets were, brought a sense of peace and blending in that I hadn't felt in years. So that a good portion of that was also being more confident in how I present myself to others. Feels nice to be able to blend in again. Exist in the midst of thousands of people I'll never know or talk to every day, whose lives have their own stories I'll never read, though just as detailed and beautiful. Guess I caught myself spacing out, because a tap on the shoulder from my partner snapped me back to the real world. I'm all good to go. Okie dokie, we got my coat. Allison and I walked over to the entrance, put my coat back on. Wanna go to the usual, or just head straight home? I'm in a coffee mood. Sit upstairs. Cool. Most, if not all my trips to the coffee shop on the fourth floor of the building had been coffee dates with Allison after her shifts at the library. I've been there enough times that each and every barista at the cafe had memorized our order. I'm pretty sure they teach all of the new hires, too. There was, however, no elevator in this building, which means you had to use the stairs, which also meant... God, the cold! Shh! Close the door if you're going to scream! Allison and I stepped into the familiar cafe, and promptly led to a pair of seats. What'd you get up to today? Aside from job searching. Oh, I like the style! Wait. I know Polymorphite is coming soon. This is the same style. I really like this one. Not much. Went to the arcade a bit earlier. Slept a fair bit. Sounds like a typical Saturday. Pretty much. Is it a good sift? Not too much in the way of trouble, so yeah. The barista brought our food. I ended up with a croissant and coffee. Allison ordered a donut and the same coffee as I did. So, how have things been on the more internal side of things? Eh? Fine, I think? Think? That's not very confident. Yeah, fair. I'm not a good liar. I'm not really sure what's going on or how to talk about it. Does it have to do with the others? Yeah. Well, it's Dawn. I don't really know why, but I felt somewhat of a weakening presence from her. A weakening presence? Yeah, like, the stuff she represents in my mind is getting weaker. It's not like a huge problem, but still something to be worried about, yeah? You really don't want to fall too far back into escapism again. Yeah, pretty much. Communicating with them is weird and difficult, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to do about the situation. It's easier when you had separate bodies. Well, I can't directly emphasize with this situation, obviously. But I know what it's like to deal with that kind of thing in other contexts. Yeah, that's fair. I think, if you take caution, you'll still be able to avoid letting escapism influence you in an unhealthy way, or you're still trying to figure out what's going on with Dawn. Thanks, sweetie. It's hard sometimes to have that confidence in myself. Well, sure. That's why I'm here. Yeah, love you and all that. Allison laughed. Have you considered talking to Chio about it? Eh? Chio? Why? Well, she had to need the dust picker. She might have an idea on if something's going haywire with your brain or whatever. Huh, I didn't think of that. Probably not a bad idea, actually. She's still being held in the same penitentiary, right? Yep, I think visiting hours are already over for today. So maybe head over tomorrow? Sure. Y'all work tomorrow? Yeah, not till later in the day. Late opening hours this Sunday. Gotcha. We finished eating our food and drinking our coffee. Want to hit up an arcade on the way back or just head straight home? I'm down. I didn't go for long either. I should probably get today's daily logging bonuses before they expire. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Let's go then? Yep. We got it from the table and walked over to the counter. After paying for our food and drinks, we left the cafe and walked back down the streets to the busy Ikebukuro streets. Play Class 4 or Class 5. Play Endless Reality and Simulated Reality in order. Fail out of that song and play Doppelganger with Mirror Mode. Huh? Okay. January 12th, 2025, 1:24 p.m. Next day, walked to the front room of the special penitentiary, or whatever, told Chio following her trial. The woman tending the counter was one I had seen quite a bit, so she knew what to do when I walked in. Hey, Saturday. Want me to go call for Chio? Yeah, it's not a problem. Shouldn't be right now. I'll go check. The woman walked through the staff door behind her, and I sat down and waited for a few minutes. Sure enough, the woman returned, pressed the button on her desk to open the automatic door into the meeting room. Chio was sitting on one of the couches in an orange prison suit. I walked over and sat next to her. Hey, Saturday, what's brought you here? Just checking in? Well, mostly. Before that, though, how have you been? Didn't get a chance to swing by last week. Well, it's been about the same as it's always been. I feel like I should be almost started that my parole starts soon, but to be honest, living here has been just fine, so I don't really feel like it'll be much different. Oh shit, I forgot it's almost March. Yeah, 1 year staying here, then I'm on parole for 10 years. It's not a standard sentence by any means, but then again, this particular penitentiary isn't for people who have committed normal crimes, for lack of a better word. Fair enough. Let's get back to your apartment then? Yeah. But like I said, about my treatment will change much. I've been taken care of extremely well here. That's really good. Yeah, I mean, it's because of you guys. I think my treatment would be much worse if you weren't there advocating for me during the trial. Huh. I only did what you do for me. It's not a big deal. Well, I appreciate it either way. I still don't know if I can understand why you gave me as much help and gratitude as you have, but I'm thankful for it regardless. No problem. So, what's on your mind? Clearly bothered by something that isn't just checking in on how I've been. Right, yeah. It's about the state of my brain after, I guess, everything. Things feel weird right now, and now it's just I talked to you about it since you made the thing. Oh, okay. What's the issue? It's Dawn. I feel like lately I've been much less in tune with her. Like the impact she has on my behavior and decision making is just slipping away. I'm not really sure how to go about remedying it. I see. Are you able to communicate with the others directly, like an internal monologue or something? I'm not too familiar with this kind of thing. Sometimes. I can retreat into my mind in a space where I can have more direct contact, disassociate from the real world in an almost daze-like state. So I prefer not to, but if there's no other way... Well, I'm not saying you need to. Let me think. Chio thought to herself for some time. You know, I'm not a brain scientist or anything like that. I wonder if this problem is more psychological than logical. What do you mean? Well, given what you've told me about the World Keeper and Liberator, before they've merged with you, they were sort of less than human. I mean, you saw the way World Keeper changed, going from being willing to shoot you, or I, to being fully on her side and wanting to escape the Dustbreaker. Dawn stayed huddled for longer, allowed her to act out in a really nasty way. She just became the villain of the last act of that story. Oh, but then, after we joined Mind at the end, she regained that missing humanity, so... Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe the guilt catching up to her. But why now? I've been out of all of that for almost a year now, and I felt this sense of weakness until now. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just because of how tired you were coming out of the Dustbreaker. I mean, me and Allie and I were only able to be awake for like 3 hours each day for almost a month right after everything ended. Yeah, it's possible. Regardless, I'm not too sure if I have any direct advice. I think if you can get into a dialogue with her, it would help. But only you can do that, and only you can decide if it's a good thing to try to do. But I think, whatever happens, you should go easy on Dawn if you can. Yeah, I get you. I don't hold anything against her. It was clear she was more destroying herself than anything. Just want to help her. You really have changed. You're a lot more timid now, you know? Yeah. When I think about the ways I acted as a teenager, I had so much more energy. Now I'm just tired. I don't really think that's a bad thing. Everything feels so much more moderate now. I'd imagine at least a bit of that change is coming from your hormones, too. Oh, definitely. I'm so glad to not be a walking testosterone machine anymore. We spent some more time catching up. I told Chio about the job searching I'd been doing lately, as well as how things were going with Allison and her new job. After some time, visiting time began to draw to a close. Oh, before you go, you deliver a message to Riri? Huh? Riri? Eri. Hell of a frugent slip. Sure, what is it? Jill walked over to the observation window and asked the guard for a piece of paper and pen. She scribbled down something and walked back over to me. Here. She handed me a piece of paper, which had random letters scribbled on it. What? She'll understand. Chill, this looks like a key smash. You got a key smash with a pencil. She'll understand. Oh my god, okay, fine. You two are insane. I'm so glad it's real. Holy shit. This was the last thing I expected, and it worked. It fucking worked. Holy hell. Whatever floats your boat, though. Walked over to the exit. Swing by again this week to make up for last week, yeah? And let me know if you need anything when you start the process to move back to your apartment. Sure thing. Thanks, Saturday. Take care. Yep, you too. I opened the door back to the lobby and handed the letter Chio had given me to the woman behind the desk for processing and analysis. She scanned it. Yeah, it's good to go. She sends these letters a lot, so she just told us how to decrypt them. To make sure she's not slipping anything unwanted out into the world, you know? Wait, you can read it? What does it say? Unfortunately, we can't give out personal details about our prisoners while they're consent. Have a nice day! Sighing, I left the building. Got a lot of time. Might as well go bring this to Eri now. I haven't been able to check in with the sisters in a bit either. Okay. Press R to choose and play a random song. Alright, let's do this one then. I'm kind of disappointed, honestly. Well, more so at myself. Actually, totally at myself. My fault. I should have... Oh, the game just crashes. Oh, wait, I forgot. I forgot that's like a thing going on right now. Okay. I'm sorry, what is my friend Tubby Gubby play? What? Did that still count? Oh, it didn't. Match equipped character to character and... So, what? So I can't do anything with the results screen right now. Maybe it's because I pressed R more than once. I just chose a random song and went with it.
Do you know Hickory Dickory Dock?
Can you hickory dickory shut the fuck up?
Okay, welcome back. I am actually recording this right after I did the Encore episode, like literally just a few minutes after. Okay. Let's do it. I actually don't know what the song is. Oh my god, it feels like a blessing to not have the footage lag. Because it was... Well, the footage is probably laggy. I just don't know if it wasn't laggy from my perspective. Also, I already know what the last last songs of Dive will be. I just haven't heard what they sound like. There's one that I'm particularly excited for if you know me, but I'm not spoiling that for y'all. January 12th, 2025, 3:10 p.m. I stepped off the train at Yawatachuku Station. It was only a 35-minute train ride from Chiyo's penitentiary. Secret facility which was housing Eri and Kotsumi was down a small alley near the bay. I navigated through the streets until I reached the decrepit-looking door. I knocked on the pattern that signified to the guard inside that it was me. 1 knock, 2 knocks, 1 knock. After a few seconds, the door opened. I was let in. The guard was on duty, rotated every few days, so the one currently on guard was one I was less familiar with. I sat behind a small makeshift desk right behind the door. Ah, it's you. Saturday, right? Yeah. Are the sisters awake? Let me check. The guard walked through the only door that led to the living area the sisters inhabited. A few seconds later, she poked her head through the doorway. Yeah, they're locked up. Like, that takes a while for me to process. They got locked up. Ari's asleep. Kotomi's awake. Come in. Got it. Thanks. I walked in through the doorway into the living area. The area that the sisters had been given was actually rather spacious. It consisted of a central lounge area with a kotatsu and a TV that had 3 doors that branch off into a bedroom for each of the sisters in a shared bedroom. God damn, dude! Damn! The lounge area had once held more amenities, like a couch and dining table, that had since been moved to make room for the main entertainment in the room. Almost a dozen arcade cabinets belonging to fighting games and rhythm games that like dotted along the back wall. I sat under the kotatsu where Kotomi was sitting. Kotomi had her laptop on the table, playing an MMORPG of some kind. Noticing me, she took her headphones off and closed her laptop after logging out of her character. Hey, Saturday. What's up? No way, she's so sad! I don't like her being sad. Oh, nothing much. I was visiting Chiyo earlier and she asked me to deliver some kind of letter to Eri. And I also realized it had been a bit since I dropped by to catch up. Sheesh, another letter? Nearly a wedding when Chiyo gets released on parole and Eri could just text the damn woman! Did these letters happen a lot? Yeah, probably a weekly occurrence by this point. Not that I can decipher what they mean. Is there actually a code to them? Like, do they mean anything? I assume they do. They keep sending them. I guess they invented their own ciphertext to avoid getting embarrassed, or something. Huh, that's very fascinating. Honestly, I was expecting Eri to just ask her out the moment she's released. She doesn't know I know this, but the two were getting physical before we even got out of the day. What? 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 Really? Yeah, you seriously didn't notice? I guess I don't try to look into these things. Doesn't feel like my business. Wait! Fair enough. I took a drink from the plastic cup I brought with me. Okay, I need to calm down. Dude, did you guys get another cabinet? Yeah, the one right behind you. The circle one. Doesn't she have enough? You'd think. This one was funny, too. Apparently, the game isn't even operating online anymore. But Eri really wanted it. And they just got it for her? Yeah. I mean, it's the government. Basically, their most valuable specimen. They figure out what's going on with us. They have the reach to just do that. If it means keeping us detained here. Brother, what? Oh my god! Jeez. Are you guys even allowed, like, fresh air? Yeah, of course. We're allowed to go for a walk once a day as long as our guard comes with us and we don't stay outside for longer than an hour. Wow. I guess it makes sense they'd want to make sure you didn't feel like prisoners. Yeah. Oh, by the way, give me that letter. I'll give it to Sis when she wakes up. Oh, sure. I rummaged through my bag and pulled out the incoherent letter. I handed it to Kotsumi. For that, sat in silence for a little as I finished my drink. Oh, and if I talk about something? Thinking about stuff lately. Huh? Sure. Well, you know. I've been wondering if you and Alice and Chiyo seem as anything other than just Eri's sister. Hmm? What do you mean? It's just yourself's been settled for a good while now. I'm wondering if, in the grand scheme of things, I really didn't much to help at all. I was kind of just there. But I'm wondering if I should have done more. You shouldn't force yourself to do more. I mean, you're a person too, right? You don't have to force yourself to do as much as everyone else. Although that shouldn't mean you shouldn't slack off. You did what you could. Oh, not at all. It's not competition or anything. You matter just as much to me as Eri, Chiyo, or Allison. I promise. Well, maybe not as much as Allison, but you know. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there isn't really much to like about me. I don't think I'm a bad person or anything. Sometimes I feel like I'm barely a person at all. Feels like knowing who I even am is a challenge sometimes. Well, let's see. You're playing Last Legendary 14. Last Legendary 14. Yeah? What's that got to do with anything? I don't really play MMOs. Tell me a bit about it. Probably won't understand anything though. Just do it. Hear me out on this one. Fine. Okay, well, the new Dust Trail expansion came out last year, but I didn't have an account that was up to the end of Endcaster since, digital reality and all that. So I had to repurchase my subscription and level everything up through the other expansions. So I ended up skipping most of the raids and optional quest stuff. Finally got my Thaumaturgist. Thaumaturgist up to level 90 so I could do the new story content. It took a good few hundred hours. I just started the new story content. I'm trying to pace myself a bit, and I run through it too fast. So I've been going back and doing some of the side quests from the previous expansions in between main scenario quests. I was leveling up some of the other jobs. We're pretty limited on our internet usage here, so I can't do much socializing. So raids aren't really an option at the moment, which really sucks, but I can't really do much about it. When we walked in today, I was finishing up a fever active time event in one of the areas from Shift Bringers. I almost said Shift Burgers. Cool. I don't know what any of that means. See? I told you. It's boring stuff. No, I mean, I don't know what any of that means. That's cool. Huh? Okay, you've lost me now. Say there isn't really anything to like about you. That makes you unique. You literally just described a bunch of stuff you like that I don't know anything about. Isn't that something unique? Okay, sure, but I don't think it knows how to play an MMORPG can act as a substitute for a personality. Okay, no, not what I meant. It's just an example. I'm showing you that even with something that you just happened to be doing when I came in, there's plenty unique about you that's worth describing. There's celebrating. Enjoy playing LL14, right? I'd hope so, considering the price of my sub and the hundreds of hours it takes to get through the main content. That's cool. And I think it's doing a disservice to yourself to pretend that it isn't. It's like, none of us can really say we don't have any kind of personality at all. A personality is just the accumulation of the behaviors and interests we hold. It's always there, and it changes with time. I think I understand. To be honest, that's all a little hard for me. I do hear you. You can put some more thought into it. Just being reassured that I'm enough as myself is really helpful. Thanks, Saturday. Anytime. Seriously. Oh, while I'm here, let's talk about your own kind of thing going on? Yeah, of course. It's about Dawn. I've felt her presence strongly lately. I talked to Allison and Chio about it already. Chio thinks it's something more psychological than scientific. I'm trying to figure out what could be going on. I think I agree with Chio. It makes more sense for this to be a personal problem rather than one to do with your brain itself. I wonder, maybe she's trapped in something? Trapped? How? Well, sometimes we try not to think about things. But things get pushed back into the back of our minds. And then they can come back with attack. Then they can come back and attack later. I'm doing the same problems that I had with episode 1, and it pisses me off! You mean, the guilt of what happened to the Dustbreaker or something? I think that's probably the most likely thing. Well, I guess that makes sense. How do I even go about pulling her out of that? I don't know where she is. My mind's been muddled in general lately. It's been hard to focus on any one specific thing. Well, probably want to go about unmuddling your feelings and thoughts. Something going on that could be stressing me out? Besides job hunting, that is. Yeah, I don't think it's job hunting. I've had a lot of time to think about some stuff now that the Dustbreaker is over. It's probably something to do with that. Dustbreaker. What about it? Did you ever resolve things with your dad? Shit. That might do it. What the fuck are these requirements? Play first breast, then lash was. Play 5 Boundary Shatter songs in a row? Press down on the Supernova boss node? What? Search the source of the Shrine Report archive. I know that 4th one is going to be annoying as hell to do. So I'm just gonna get the first 3 out of the way. I just realized my mic was muted the whole time. My mic was muted the whole time. No, I was talking about so much shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to re-explain everything I did. So, I did explain the what happened. I did the 5 Boundary Shatter songs, the first Breath and Last Wish, and for Supernova, for the Supernova one, I had to go to the node flowchart, and in the gate where I was supposed to unlock Supernova, I had to press down. And then for that last one, I had to download a file and then put it in the Steam folder. Okay. What I was talking about during the song, I don't really remember. I don't really have good memory. I do remember one thing I said, though, and it was that, I liked the song, it was pretty good, and that I will be seated for probably more fight. Basically, the general gist. Okay. Now we're ready. We're caught up. Nervously, I stuffed off what felt like the longest train ride of my day so far, despite the fact it had only been a short 20 minutes from Chio's penitentiary. I'm never saying that right. Walking up and into the much more foreboding and cold-looking prison, I went inside. The clerk running the desk raised an eyebrow at me. Obviously, I'd never been here before. I walked up to the counter. Hey, are visiting hours still? Yeah, visiting hours are until 8 p.m. Someone you want to see? Yeah, this is where Setsuki Tatsugari is being held, right? Clerk looked up from the report she was writing. It is. Are you? If you can, tell him that his son is here to see him, then. That. Clerk's eyes went a little wide, which was a reaction I wasn't expecting. She nodded inside. I'll go tell him his daughter is here. The clerk walked off, muttering, never thought this day'd come, under her breath. I took a seat in the basic lounge chairs facing the reception desk, and sighed. I hadn't seen my father since before the Dustbreaker incident happened. Even by that time, it felt like I'd barely known him. He'd become so engrossed in his work at the Sunrise Foundation in the 5 years between his founding and the severance of emotion that I barely saw him. Remember that at least half the nights during this week, I ended up walking down the street to Allison's house and staying over with her. It happened often enough that I could just show up, and her adoptive parents would understand immediately, and make sure I was fed and taken care of. At some point, my father learned that this was happening. Started showing up even less, pushing most of the responsibility onto Allison and her family. What was I even going to say to him? I knew I had to say something. I had to get closure on all of this. Never wanted to speak to him again after this if I could help it. During the cycles inside the Dustbreaker, at one point, Storyteller was able to manipulate the void to get in contact with an old friend of ours from high school and send a message to my father that way. But I haven't seen him in person since 2020. What will he think, seeing me like this now? Will he even recognize me? I was already out as transgender when everything went down, and he really understood that, but he never seemed to really get it. I don't know what he sees me as. My thoughts were beginning to circle in on himself by this point, an obvious sign of an incoming anxiety spiral. I managed to calm myself down with the breathing, holding, releasing trick. Finally, the clerk came back out from the employee door. He's in visiting room A. I'm obligated to let you know that all visits between admitted visitors are recorded and transcribed for the safety of our visitors. Thank you. That's fine. The door opened and I walked into the hallway down to the door labeled Visiting Room A. I took one final large sigh and opened the door. The room was much colder and drab feeling than the visiting room at Chio's penitentiary. Likely, I did it! I did it! I don't even know if that's how you say it, but I did it! I didn't stutter this time, even if I said it wrong. The result of the much more severe offenders this prison was meant to house. A large sheet of glass separated the visitor and the visitee. Behind the glass. Fuck. I'm not ready for this. A long silence permeated the room. 10 minutes went by without any words. At times, I looked directly at his face. At other times, I couldn't bear to see him and had to turn away. Finally, he was the one to break the silence. It's nice to... He cut himself off. Was he going to say, it's nice to see you again? Seriously? Do you recognize me? It was a stupid question. I knew it was. But I had to ask. Every part of me was screaming. Obviously, he recognized me. The clerk literally told him it was me. Stupid. Why did I say that? Setsuki nodded. I don't know why I came here. Setsuki looked down inside. It's okay. I understand. As I found the cue of his voice, tears started streaming down my face. There were no chairs in the cold room, so I fell to my knees on the cold concrete floor. The hell do you mean you understand? How could you understand? You don't know what I don't... How can you just sit there and... After all this... It's unfair. I'm sorry. I don't think I'd ever want to imagine you understanding how it feels to sit here. So you think I can't get it? Oh, fuck. My tears were slowing my nerves into an auditory mess of emotions. Get everything out. Please don't hold it in. That's why you came here, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'm not going to hold back. I don't want you to. I don't even know if you deserve to know how I feel. I just leave you to guess in here while I move on with my life. I think that would be more fair to yourself, too. But, here. Shut up. Just listen for a bit. Not even in an angry way. Just, please. Satsuki nodded. I think this is the first time we've seen Satsuki. Like, at all. This is what he looks like. This is his first ever appearance. I think. I should hate you. I certainly don't like you one bit. You abandoned me. You masqueraded your selfish inability to move on from Sis's death. Some care for me when you just couldn't move on yourself. You left the care of me to the adopted parents of my best friend, adults you barely even knew. While you told the people you were working with that you were doing was for me. You can't even begin to unwrap how cruel that is. Satsuki sighed, but he didn't open his mouth, thankfully. And in doing all this, you trampled on the memory of the very daughter you claimed you were doing all of this in honor. You tried to bring her back, instead of grieving and learning to live in love again in spite of such a horrible loss. And I get it, you know. Grief is fucking hard. And you have the money to ignore it. And I hate that you did. Because maybe if you didn't, you could have grown closer than we ever would have as you grew up navigating our shared grief for Sis together. But you were rich. You couldn't solve your grief like a puzzle. But you tried anyway. And destroyed my life in the process. The fact that I'm even standing here today in the real world has nothing to do with you. I had to endure the equivalent of over 13,000 years waiting for my chance to escape from the Dustbreaker to be viable. I got here because of my friends and loved ones. And let me make one thing perfectly clear. I don't love you. I don't think I could ever bring myself to. Never want to see you again. After I walk out of this prison when we're done here, I don't want you to even think about you again. I don't want to talk to you again. But also, there's some fucked up, small part of me that just wishes you were there for me as I try to figure out who the hell I even am. I don't even know how to feel about the man who raised me anymore, and it's seeming from the inside out, goddammit. My chest took over, my mouth got tired. My yelling developed into sobs, and I couldn't do anything to stop it. I was the only sound in the room for a long time. After some time, Satsuki spoke. Good night. Telling Callie how I've been feeling for the past 4 years. Only if you're okay with it. I looked up. It would feel if you do it better. You'll walk away and never see me again. I promise I understand. I don't want to force you to sympathize with me. I think I'd know what to do if you did. But I think it might help put your mind to rest. I sighed and wiped my eyes. Go on. Satsuki sighed. Every single day for the past 4 years, I've thought about you. I've picked about years of memories to raising you, being too self-absorbed to care for you, and everything in between. Every day I find a new thing I regret, a new thing I wish I said, and at night I wish I'd just gone home and watched a movie with you instead of staying at work. It's all I think about every night as I try to sleep. Some nights, I wish you'd forgive me. Or finally, some nights, especially early on, I tried to shut out any guilt of what I'd done. But every night for the past years, no matter how I was feeling, I thought about how I'd killed you. I'd condemned you to this. I had. It was me. It's become my whole life Saturday. I had no choice but to change from the kind of person who would do anything to avoid confronting the unavoidable. Pouring hour after hour, dollar after dollar into science to fix all my problems. I had to become someone who spent every waking moment facing what I'd done. The life I'd condemned my own daughter to. It nearly killed me. But something kept me going. Kept me going for 4 years and will keep me going until something else kills me. What is it? Satsuki looked at me. It's this. The only thing that drives me in this world anymore is this moment. The chance that one day I might finally get to see my daughter bloom past the horrible things I did. To find her own way in the world. Not because I wanted her to forgive me, but because I wanted her to be happy without having to deal with the things I'd brought upon her. Did you just want to know how to kill me? Is that it? Satsuki shook his head. No, that isn't it at all. And it never was. The only thing that brings me hope at this point is the knowledge that somewhere out there, far away from me, my daughter is, you are, happy. I don't plan to die. I'll live my life, atoning for what I did, wishing for every second along the way that you're safe and happy wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Holy shit, it's getting tired doing this voice. We're always meant for better places than where I sent you. That's why, more than anything else, the only thing I knew I needed to try to say to you was, please, you have to keep living. After taking more time to cry the last of my regrets, the last of my unsaid feelings, I stood up, my will reinforced. Of course I'm going to keep living, but not for your sake, not because you asked me to. Satsuki nodded. Of course, I would want you to live for my sake in a million years. I turned away from him and opened the door. Light streamed from the hallway, a world I chose to live in without my dad. I'll likely never see you again. Of course. But, thank you. I hope you can forgive yourself for the things I can't. Those were the last words I ever said to my father. Closed the door, and he was gone from my vision, and I was gone from his. The past would never cross again, yet I felt reinvigorated, revived. I walked out into the lobby. All done in there? Everything good? Yeah. Yeah. Everything's okay. This is the final one. The last dive. I'll end it here, but I will be recording these back to back. So, I'll see you next time, and see you for the finale.